Yeah, good afternoon. After talking about two-wheelers and four-wheelers, let us come to buses, which is more of a public transport that we should be encouraging. And I'll start with my first slide, which gives an insight into, if you see this slide, you'll see in 1950s how Mumbai looked like. It had electric trams in the city and a lot of space for people to walk around. And luckily, I could get a pic of the same from the same for the same location after 60 years, 70 years. How it looks like. There's no space for people, only cars and two-wheelers, and of course, a few buses. So what we need to do is go back 60 years, nothing else to be done. So this is what the country is, how we have progressed in 60 years. We have decreased the number of buses per person. We had about 11% of the buses which were registered in 1951, 15, 20 years now. A small data from the Ministry of Road Transport. If you see on the right side, a small box which says which state has how many buses per 10 lakh people. Bihar is just 4. Average in India is 129. Delhi, of course, is better off with 334. And Karnataka is one of the best ones, which is 372. And what we need is at least 400. So no one meets the criteria. So this is what we need to do. I will talk a little about what the supplier and a buyer as such on e-mobility have to do. So we are just now from buses, we need to have e-buses. That's what I'm talking about. So in the supplier front, if we have equipment suppliers, we have energy suppliers, and then we have a financer, which are the three stakeholders. Then in the buyer end, we have, of course, the operators and the government as well as the end user. So I have listed out few of the concerns and few of the opportunities. Of course, in the opportunity side, we have already discussed there are a lot of growth potential. And of course, technology upgradation is one of the big opportunity for us. But in the concern side, of course, we have a demand forecast, which is actually missing. We need to have a very good demand forecast for all these. And of course, manufacturing in-house in India. From the buyer end, of course, opportunities are to reduce the pollution, to make it more comfortable for the passengers, and of course, we shift from two-wheeler and four-wheeler to into buses, so that we can reduce the congestion as well. Of course, the acquisition cost is high at the moment. It has to be brought down. Infrastructure charging is not available. And of course, the energy cost over the life cycle is very high. If you see, as of today. Now extending this, what are the supports required from the government? We have been talking about it. Basically, we need policy support on terms of FAME being over a longer period. We cannot have a policy for 6 months and then extend for another 6 months. As an industry, we need a long-term stability. So we need to have a policy which will be over a longer period. And of course, there was a policy on Amrut there could be a policy on Amrut also, like we had in the earlier regime, Junrum policies, which were there for encouraging buses as a city transport. So this is what we are expecting, if government could come out with some policies under these schemes. And of course, the second support which we need from the government is provide energy and finance at a preferred rate for sustainable growth. So these are the areas where if government works on and supports the industry, maybe we can do a lot of disruptive things. And of course, develop the infrastructure, as we have already discussed in the few discussions earlier. So this is what I felt as a government we can do. But I'll just take you through the journey which Tata Motors has been through. We started working on electric and e-mobility sometime in 2005. And if you have seen 2009, Delhi was witness of some hybrid buses which we used in Commonwealth Games. Those were, of course, parallel hybrids. But then we have supplied to Spain in 2013 series hybrid buses. So somehow hybrids is not the flavor of the day. People have started moving over to EV vehicles, but hybrids is could be a very good solution for transition phase. We have also now electric buses. In fact, hybrid is next week on 2nd of December, we are inaugurating 25 buses as the BEST GM also mentioned that. BEST will be operating these hybrids in BKC area in Mumbai. So state-of-art buses are there, which we would request everyone to note, and maybe whenever you are in Mumbai, please use them. We do have, in fact, if you look at the whole gamut of commercial vehicles, starting from small vehicles to 16-ton, 18-ton vehicles, we have electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles in the range. In fact, we have fuel cells also. If you see on the extreme right side, we have fuel cells vehicle, which is maybe 5, 6, 7 years down the line, we would have more of these in the country, and people will start talking about fuel cells maybe 5 years down the line. So these are the vehicles which would be there, where fuel cell emits only water. So this is actually things which we are working on. Of course, if you see, we have small four-wheelers also, which are 5-ton and 0.5-ton payload capacity, which can be used for last mile connectivity as well as last mile cargo movement. So we are working on the whole gamut of commercial vehicle space. Of course, for a city like Delhi or maybe any smart city, what we are looking at, metro and BRTS and buses could be connectivity solutions, mobility solutions, and we are working, except of course metro is not our area, but rest of the areas we are working on to provide a seamless connectivity. And what we have from Tata Motors is, of course, a 9-meter bus, which we have been showing to our customers. And in fact, it has been developed in India, made in India, designed in India. And of course, with the technology which is available across the globe. And we have been trying out these buses, which are available. There's a FAME subsidy available for these buses. And of course, we have fast and slow charging with a different, and in fact, we have a type approval also for these buses. We are trying to do something different. We are trying to even have a 12-meter bus, even though many people are not, are looking at 9-meter, but as a 12-meter option also we have, which will be more economical, more beneficial for the customers. And of course, I was talking about hybrid, and just give me 2 minutes. I'll like to explain about the hybrid. In fact, the hybrids which we are giving are series hybrids, and the platforms which we are using are the ones which can be upgraded to full electric whenever we need. So basically, if you remove the engine from the vehicle and increase the battery capacity, it becomes a full electric. So we are working on a platform which is low floor in the sense that the floor height is 400 mm, there are no steps inside the bus, and this floor is there from the front to the rear. So basically, not like the ones which we have in Delhi, of course, which we gave about 10 years back, where the floor height is 400 for 50% of the area. What we are now giving is around 80% of the area where the floor height will be 400 mm. So it will be more comfortable, more good looking aesthetically. So these are the buses platforms which we have developed for hybrid as well as full electric and fuel cell. So all the three future platforms would be on this particular model. And of course, we are looking at trolley buses also in the future on these platforms. So right now, hybrids which we are giving to Mumbai would be under the FAME scheme. And next week onwards, they would be on the road. They are giving a fuel efficiency of about 35 to 40%. And of course, the carbon emissions are also in this range. And they are compliant to all the UBS2 specifications, if you are aware of, there are some specifications which are there, urban bus specifications, and it meets the luxury specifications of these buses. That's all I have to say. Thank you.